Okay, let's finally get into constitutional law. So for today, we're going to go through standing. Standing is very, very key in order for yourself to have your case heard in federal court. Without standing, you're pretty much screwed. Your case will be dismissed. So it can be complicated. However, we're going to turn standing into complete English for today. All right. So let's go to the general definition of standing. Standing means the determination of whether a specific person is the proper party to bring a matter to the court for adjudication. What the heck does this mean? This means that the court will ask themselves whether or not the plaintiff, let's say you're trying to sue Facebook for whatever the case may be. They're asking whether or not you, the plaintiff, is the proper party for that claim that you're bringing against the defendant. And whether or not the court themselves, whether it's the Federal Court of Appeals, SCOTUS, whatever the case may be, can solve that problem. That is what this definition stands for. There are three elements in standing that must be proven. Without these three elements, you're done for. Your case will be thrown out. Okay? We have injury in fact, causation, and redressability. These are in order. You have to prove each and every element in order to properly have standing. If not, no claim. Injury in fact is the first element. The plaintiff must allege that he or she has suffered an injury that affects him or her in a specific and individual way. What does that mean? So let's just say that I punch Eric. Okay? Sam punches Eric across the face. Eric is the plaintiff who has suffered a specific and individual injury because it happened to him, not a third person, not the guy across the street, not his wife. He suffered the harm. Therefore, he has injury in fact because, again, he's the one who suffered the harm in a specific and individual way. Furthermore, and this is language that must be used, again, especially if you're a law student or a lawyer, use this language. This is critical, okay? Injury must be particularized and concrete that is either actual or imminent. What the heck does this mean? So this last part means that it must be particularized and concrete, which means that it's very clear that, hey, you, the plaintiff, has suffered X harm. You suffered this harm. Eric has suffered the harm of battery. He's got punched across the face. His injury is a black eye, for example. That is a particularized, a concrete injury. That is an actual injury because, again, the suffering has already happened. That's an actual situation that's happened. An imminent injury is suffering that's going to happen very, very soon. Not 5 years from now, but an imminent harm that will happen in a swift manner. Another example is Kevin shot Israel. Okay, let's say Kevin is the guy in this picture. He's on top of the car, and his buddies are down here. Let's say Kevin is this crazy drug cartel. Israel owes him $50. And Kevin's like, nope, Israel, you need to pay my $50. You're going to die. He shoots shoots Israel. Now Israel has a specific and individual injury, and he'll be able to satisfy this first element, injury in fact, because, again, Israel has a specific and individual injury in this case, and he can sue Kevin in federal court, okay? And, again, it's particularized as concrete, and he suffered an actual injury because he's already suffered the injury of the gunshot wounds to his body. The second element is causation. Causation is the injury must be traceable to the defendant's conduct and not be traced to some independent third party not before the court. Okay, what does that mean? Okay, well, this means, and let's use Israel and Kevin as examples because I think that's a funny example. So Israel's injury must be traceable to Kevin's conduct, which means that Israel must prove and say, okay, look, court, you see my injuries here? You see the hospital bills here? My injury is traceable to Kevin's conduct because Kevin used his gun with his buddies to shoot me. Therefore, court, look, not only do I have injury in fact because of my injuries, but I also have causation because my injuries in my body is traceable to what Kevin did. Therefore, Israel will have causation in his case. And it cannot be traced to a third party because the third party didn't suffer the harm. The third party is not involved in this case. The case that I'm using is just only Kevin and Israel. Therefore, Israel can sue Kevin. So it can't be Israel's wife. It can't be Israel's mother, even though they probably care and they really want him to do well and heal and get money from Kevin for what happened. They can't be involved. They can't be the plaintiff. Israel must be the one who's suing. If Israel's mother or a girlfriend or wife, whatever the case may be, sues on his behalf, there's no standing. The case will get thrown out. Israel has to be the one to be involved in this case. He's the plaintiff, no one else. The more remote the injury is to the defendant's conduct, the less likely it is that this element will be satisfied. So in the causation example is Sarah punched Mimi. Sarah is his MMA fighter, and Mimi is not an MMA fighter. Okay, let's say Mimi is Ronda Rousey in the blue right here, getting punched across the face. And Sarah is the woman in the brown cornrows. Okay, Sarah is the proximate and direct cause of Mimi's harm because, again, she's extending her arm out to punch Mimi across the face, which Mimi will clearly have injury, in fact, right? Because she suffered a particularized harm here, or a particularized and concrete injury here that's actual because, again, she's already suffered the injury. And Sarah will be the direct and proximate cause of her harm because, again, she is the one who caused the harm. It's clearly traceable to Mimi's injury. The last element of redressability is fairly straightforward too, okay? Redressability is basically this. In determining whether a litigant, in this case, litigant means plaintiff, has a sufficient injury to establish standing, the court will find whether the ruling favorable to the litigant, and this is assuming that the plaintiff wins the case, would eliminate the harm to him or her. And basically this means that the court is basically asking themselves, okay, look, litigant, look, plaintiff, look, Mimi, look, Israel, if you win this case, can we help you out? Can we redress your injury? Can we redress the problem you bring to the case? And for Israel's case, in Mimi's case, they can. Because think about it, you get shot. If you get punched across the face pretty badly, you have to go to the hospital, pay medical bills, maybe take time off of work, right? That is a situation where Mimi and Israel have grounds to sue for special damages, and the court can award that to them as a way to redress the problem. I kind of already go through that in this slide right here. Again, the court may redress Israel's harm by awarding him special damages because Kevin will have to pay up for his medical bills and time off of work because Israel needs time to heal. Again, he got shot. He needs time to heal. So to wrap this all up, there are 3 elements for standing that must be proven in order to bring your case to federal court. Again, whether it's federal appeals, SCOTUS, whatever the case is, you need standing. And these 3 elements must be proven: injury in fact, causation, and redressability in order. Without those 3 things, your case will be dismissed. Okay? Again, injury in fact is particularized and concrete harm to the plaintiff. The plaintiff, him or herself, must have suffered that harm, and that person must be the one to sue. Like I said, not Israel's mom, not his wife. Israel, the man who got shot, must be the one to sue Kevin. Causation. The second element must be proven. The injury must be traceable to the defendant. Okay, Mimi can easily sue Sarah because, again, she is the one who's the direct and proximate cause of her harm because, again, she is the one who extended her arm out to punch Mimi across the face, which caused her to get a black eye. That's easily traceable to what Sarah did, right? That's traceable to her conduct, okay? Lastly, redressability. Redressability is a situation where the court will ask themselves, okay, plaintiff, if you win this case, can we redress your problem? Can we solve your issue? Can we? Or is this basically a waste of our time, okay? In Mimi's case, in Israel's case, the court can redress the injuries because, again, special damages. As you all know from torts, special damages medical bills, loss of wages, etc. And maybe even general damages when it comes down to pain and suffering, especially for Israel getting shot by Kevin. Okay, the court could demand, okay, look, if you win Israel, if you win Mimi, we'll make Sarah, we'll make Kevin pay up, and that'll be a way for them to redress the injury. So that'll be it for standing. As I said, it was pretty straightforward. I hope I made this into complete English. So when you do your essays, your legal analysis, your multiple choice, or whether you're just curious to understand what standing even means in the first place, this will help you understand it. And remember, the language is very critical. So using a lot of the language here, particularly as in concrete harm, even injury in fact, causation, etc. This language is critical. So use this language when you're speaking out loud to someone else about this situation, or even when you're typing it down in your essay. Language is critical. Okay, so that'll be it. Next time we'll talk about the political question doctrine. That's pretty critical for the Supreme Court to handle. And I'll see you next time.